Live. And we're live. Excellent. Okay. All right. Were there no people outside my door standing there? All right. Here are the basic, here is the basic idea for the day. Number one, my main goal and objective is to review the chapter. I want to review the chapter that we've been going over with rational functions, simplifying rational functions, graphing rational functions, solving rational functions that we have been doing for several weeks now, probably a bit longer than I should have, because it turns out, I actually found out today that I'm about a week and a half behind the other Algebra 2 classes. But no matter, I spent the time that I wanted to spend on these topics. So we are going to review today with a quizzes, which I'm going to get you guys set up with in a little bit. But while you're waiting for me to set that up, if you would have your Chromebooks out and ready to go, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, but as they're doing that, if you can get those things logged up, that'd be great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know it's like Friday at the end of the day, and it's like everything's dying now. Oh, goodness. So after said quizzes, I would like to review some of the more difficult problems from that particular quizzes. That'd be fantastic that we can go over, that we can write down into our notes. And then at about noon, 11:55 to noon, I'm going to set you guys up for the next quote-unquote intervention period. They have another assignment for you. A Google slide that I'm going to assign you that will be due. Actually, I'm going to assign it today, but we are going to work on it in class today and on Tuesday. So the remediation assignment, I'm not going to actually have due until Wednesday. So number one, we are reviewing the chapter on rational functions. I do have a major that I'm going to give you guys early next week. But we'll talk more about that on Tuesday. But then after the review, we will go over some of the more difficult problems. And then at about noon, we're going to knock out that remediation on Google Slides. Now, again, the remediation on Google Slides, I'm going to assign that to you. It's not going to be due today. We're going to be working on it today and on Tuesday. You know, next week is the last normal week of the year. Yeah. Next week, full week, 5 days. Then the week after is 3. Then the week after is 4. Then the week after is senior exams. That's why I say normal week. Yeah. It's going to be insane. I think those might actually be final exams for everyone else. I think. I got to double check that actually. I do have a calendar here somewhere. Like, I'm not a calendar, like an actual piece of paper. Whatever. I'll deal with that later. Anyway, for everyone waiting for that code, for those of you in the chat, if you have not left a comment, please make sure that you do so. That would be phenomenal and wonderful and helpful. And let me get this thing set up right here for you. I need everyone to get logged on as quickly as possible to this. There we go, with that code right there. I'll type that code into the chat. Let's get in there. Again, this is a practice. This is a review. Let me type that in. That would be 280196. Here we go, 280196. Let's get logged on as quick as we can. Again, this is being the review. This is just going to be some information that would potentially appear on a major assessment. I already have the major assessment ready to go on Edge Elastic, but I'm holding off on assigning that just yet. I'm going to assign that early next week. So let us get logged in as quick as we can. Thank you for those that are leaving the comments right there. I can see you all right there. Let's make sure you get logged on to this quizzes as well. Now, obviously, as you guys are logging in, obviously you do have the use of your calculators. There are some problems where there might be a need to kind of write out some scratch work, but that's on you. Obviously, a lot of this can be done directly on the calculator, but make sure you are taking your time with these problems. How many we got in here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 in here. I got 9 in there. And supposedly I got like 5 or 6 in the computer. I'm wondering where people are at getting logged on to this thing. Who do I got logged on so far? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I know who's here. I know who's physically right in front of me. Where are these people that are online? Like, I can see all you guys in front of me. I can see your faces. Psh, at 11 in the morning? Goodness gracious. If I sleep anytime past 6:30, I feel like I've wasted my morning. Yeah. It's usually the way it goes. I'll tell you a story while I'm waiting for these people online to get logged on. While I'm waiting for them to get logged on, I'll tell you a story. My son, he doesn't suffer from nightmares. Like, you know how like kids like sometimes have nightmares. My kid doesn't have nightmares. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the chat. But he wakes up kind of in the middle of the night. He like sleepwalks. And when he sleepwalks, have I told you his stories of sleepwalking? He does stuff in the middle of the night and has conversations. One night, we literally heard him like running back and forth across the house, talking about doing something, but he was asleep. He was flat out asleep. And then all of a sudden, we heard him trying to like open the front door. And we had to go get him at that point. And it's like, oh my gosh. And what we've been told from like doctors is like, don't try to wake him up. Just try to comfort him and calm him down. And my wife is like, where is this coming from? And then I realized, I'm like, oh, I kind of do the same thing. One time I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought to myself, you know what? I got to get going. And it's like 2 a.m. and I put my jeans on and I get my keys. And my wife is like, where are you going? I'm like, I got to go start the car. It's like, if she didn't stop me, I would have been driving down the road. Goodness. Yeah. Really? In the middle of the night. It's awesome. I don't know. But my son and I, we apparently we have things to do, you know. We have places to go. Anyway, I'm going to get this thing started. Apparently, I only got one extra person in that whole speech. Click. Let's do it. Remember, take your time with this. There are 20 questions. And this is a review. This is a practice. We got a few minutes. All right. For those of you that are still working, I still have a couple that are still knocking this thing out. I'm going to give you another minute or so to kind of wrap this up. We're like so close to that 50-50 line. And I know it says 50%, but we're actually 105 to 107. $106, 107. Well, number one, I didn't make the individual questions, but I did select the individual questions. Yes. All right. I'm going to put an end to the quizzes now. I'll bring this thing over. Oop, here we go. Click, click. Bring this thing over here. Switch the camera over there. There we go. Click to end that thing there. Good. What I'm going to need from you, what I'm going to need for everyone in the class, in terms of going over a few problems, just a few problems, I'm going to need, if you do not already have them out, those notebooks out and open. I'm going to sort the questions by accuracy. That would be wonderful. I can already see one of those questions already coming up as like 9%. There are a few questions that you guys like absolutely rocked it. But there are a few that we're going to talk about right here, for example. Okay, get my paper. I am going to flip back and forth. Here we go. Between this camera and the quizzes camera. Today is the 14th. You are already halfway done. Literally, you have a month and 4 days. Think about that. That's insane. Anyway, this is just the rationals review. That's what I'll call it. Rationals review. That's where that marker went. Excellent. And dare I use this one? What is this one? This one is... Ooh, interesting. I wonder if this one's good. No, that one is terrible. Go away with that marker. Okay, good. Flip. +2, -2, +2, -5. +2, -2, +2, -5. Now, this question gave everybody the biggest headache on this entire quizzes. It looks like only 1 out of 11 got this one correct. Average time spent about 3 minutes. The problem was asking, where is there a hole in the graph on the function? And actually, let me look at the choices real quick. Okay, interesting. All right. Now, in the definition that I gave you for a hole will occur if 2 terms end up canceling each other out. And yes, right here, these 2 terms end up canceling each other out, x + 2, x + 2. And what you've been told is that if a term cancels out, you are to set that term equal to 0, and you are to solve, and it is at that location that a hole occurs. It is at that location that a hole occurs. Now, if I flip back to this quiz's question, yep, I can see it right there. I can see what most of you chose. Yes, 1 person did choose the correct answer. 4 of you chose there are no holes. There will only be no holes if nothing cancels out. And a lot of you did choose x = +2, which, I mean, I can see that thinking that, oh, x + 2. Well, you have to set it equal to 0 and solve, and then there is a hole at that location. Just for the sake of argument, a hole and a vertical asymptote, although similar, are not the same thing. There is a vertical asymptote at x = +5 for that problem. And there is even an x-intercept at x = +2, but only a hole will exist at -2. You have to set that term equal to 0. So I just want to make sure that we solve that. Let's see what the next... Oh, that was the quote-unquote toughest question of this whole thing. Oh, here we go. Find the least common denominator of the expression. Not only are we going to find the least common denominator of the expression, but we are going to simplify this by combining those 2 fractions. Looking at this problem, how many people got this right? It was 2 got it right, 9 got it wrong, average time spent about a minute. On this particular problem, we have to see what they have in common, what they don't have in common. They clearly both have an x in common. They both clearly actually have a 3 in common as well. But this is a little bit of a trick question. This is a little bit of a trick question. I think I know why most people got this wrong. I want to see what you chose. Ah, okay. Most people chose 3xy. I can see why that is. Okay, yeah. They both already have the x in common. I am going to have to also include a y if I need to get that common denominator here. I'm going to multiply this by y over y to get that common denominator. But I also need to multiply by 2 over 2 to get that common denominator. The common denominator is indeed 6xy. It is 6xy, as you can see on the bottom right choice right there. 2 people chose that. Because you have to determine, okay, what is each denominator missing? Well, the second fraction, it was missing a y. The first fraction, it was missing a 2 in order to force that common denominator at 6xy. I don't know why I'm doing this in red, but okay. But then it would end up being 6 plus 2y squared. Now, technically, that's not simplified. Technically, that is not a simplified answer. I could divide a 2 out of all of them. But that's neither here nor there. Now, let me write the simplified answer, actually. The simplified answer, if I divided a 2 out of all of them, would end up looking like this. That would be the simplified answer to the problem, but that would not be the least common divisor of the original problem. It was a little bit of a trick, and I can see why a lot of people would have ended up picking 3xy, because that would have been the simplified answer. Weird. Yeah, let me leave it here for just a moment. Variables all floating around, doing their thing and simplifying in weird ways. Gosh. Oh, I did that yesterday. There we go. All right, let's see. Ooh, yes. Select all the information that applies to the given rational function. I need to write that down. This was a select all that applies. Average time spent, 76 seconds. F of x equals 2x squared minus 2 over x squared minus 4x plus 3. Flip that over here. Leave that there for a moment. On this problem, you really, really need to factor first. You absolutely have to factor first. Factoring first would be the end-all, be-all towards identifying anything within the problem. Although I can identify a horizontal asymptote. Hold on, let me look at the choices real quick. Yeah, they want me to identify a horizontal asymptote. Let's look at the degrees. The degree of the numerator is 2. The degree of the denominator is 2. Meaning, since they are equal, I am going to take their leading coefficients and divide them to get my ha at y equals positive 2. What are some of the other things they want me to identify? Vertical, whole, x-intercept. Okay, then I got to factor. I have to factor this sucker. My horizontal asymptote is indeed at y equals 2, but I have to factor this thing. I'm going to take a 2 out of the numerator because that is a greatest common factor of the numerator. Then I can factor not only the top, but the bottom of this problem as well. I can factor the top and the bottom of this problem in the following way. I'm going to leave that there for a moment. Give people an opportunity to jot that information down. You can take out a GCF out of the numerator. You're left with 2 quadratics that are absolutely factorable, that can be factored into 2 binomial terms. And when that happens, hopefully you can visibly see right here, 2 terms end up canceling each other out, which indicates that there is indeed a whole at x equals positive 1. Not only that, the other part of the denominator indicates my vertical asymptote. And the other part of the numerator that did not cancel indicates my x-intercept. All of those pieces of information can be deciphered from factoring the problem. That is one of the biggest things that you can do. Take out a GCF, factor the quadratic, see what happens. If stuff cancels, you have a hole. If stuff doesn't cancel, you can identify a vertical and an x-intercept. Let me look at the quizzes and see what you guys chose for that one. Interesting. So 2 of them were actually technically wrong. 2 of them, the first option said that the vertical asymptote was at -3 and +1, but unfortunately, it was at +3, and that's it. The last one indicated an x-intercept, but they said the x-intercept was at 3 and 1. That was not true. 9 of you did choose the horizontal asymptote correctly. That's a good thing. You absolutely chose the correct horizontal asymptote. But then there was a hole. There was a hole, and 3 people chose that. 3 people chose there was a hole at 1, -2. How many people in total got it right? 2 of you got it right. Okay. The select all that apply, those are interesting problems just because people tend to just pick one of them and move on. Hold on. Mr. Mark's room. No. That's what somebody told me. Okay, so. Oh. I got you. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Haha, that was them catching up with Declan. I don't know. I have no idea where he is or what he's doing. Did he say he was coming back? Yeah. All right, whatever. I don't have to know what it was, but no. And he was given permission. I mean, obviously they just confirmed that with me, but I don't know. Doesn't have that much time left. Okay. I got you. No, like I said, that's fine. I mean, I don't have to know the reason. All I know is that he was given permission, and that's all that really matters. Let's see here. Oh, no, my paperwork. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you. There we go. So let's see. A couple more problems, and then we're going to move on to that intervention period. So let me write down this problem. Actually, you know what? Now, that one we were okay on. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. This will be the last problem that I do then. On the quizzes, that is. And then I'll talk about the intervention period. This problem you had to solve. Now, it may be a little bit difficult to see on the screen. I am writing it right now so that you have the opportunity to copy this sucker down. There it is, right there. Boom. There's that problem. Oh, gosh. So I have to solve this. I've shown you two strategies for solving this. One of them by combining those two fractions, which you totally could do if you wanted to. And then if you combine those two fractions, we could butterfly this thing out and then eventually get to our answer. Or instead of that, I could multiply through this entire problem. Oh, it's frozen. There we go. I could multiply through this entire problem by n plus 1, n minus 6. if I multiplied through the entire problem by n plus 1, n minus 6, it would destroy all of my fractions in one fell swoop. N plus 1, n minus 6. Well, in the first fraction, the n plus 1s would cancel, leaving me with 4 times n minus 6. In the second fraction, they would both cancel, leaving me with a 1. And in the third fraction, the n minus 6 would cancel, leaving me with a 1 times n plus 1, which, I'll just put it there for the sake of argument, even though I don't really need to. Now it's an algebra 1 problem. Now it's a pre-algebra problem. Distribute. Combine like terms, move stuff around. Let's see. 3n minus 23 equals 1. 3n equals 24. N equals 8. Zooming out, zooming out. The only thing that you then have to make sure of is that that number works in the answer. And it does. As long as you don't get a -1 or a +6, you should be totally fine with this problem. 8 should be the answer. And it does work. It's really weird how it works, actually. I'll show you real quick how it works. I'll zoom in on my calculator, and then I'll zoom back out to this problem. Let's see here. Got an answer of 8, so we got 4 divided by 8 plus 1 plus 1 divided by 8 plus 1, 8 plus 6. Boom, I got 0.5 on the left. I got 0.5 on the right. Clearly it works. But that is what the answer does. Okay. There we go. Now, like I said, next week, I am going to be assigning you an Edulastic major on solving, or not just solving, but rational functions in general, solving, graphing, things of that nature. What I would like to do for the remainder of the time that we have, I would like to begin the intervention period. I think was it last class? Yeah, no, it was Monday. Monday, you guys took the pre-assessment. Doesn't that feel like a million years ago? I'm just saying, I don't know, because Wednesday was that half day. Anyway, whoa, that was weird. I'm going to be assigning you guys the remediation. Now, the remediation is something that obviously you do on your own. There are multiple short videos within that remediation Google Slides that you are going to watch on your own, and then problems that you are going to complete. Assign. If you go to your Google Classroom, which I would suggest that you all go to right now, if you go to your Google Classroom, once this thing actually finishes assigning, it will assign you the Google Slides and the instructions that I have for this problem. There it goes. View assignment, instructions. Attached is the Google Slides assignment for the intervention period. Your task is to watch the videos in the Google Slides and then to begin working on those problems. There are actually 4 short videos in total for these slides. Since I want to make sure you have enough time to get this done, I got to change those dates actually, and I will in a moment. You will be working on this for today and for Tuesday's intervention period. So let me change those dates now. It will be due on Wednesday, May 19th, and that date is correct. There we go. Save. It will be due at that point, and you are to email me if you have any questions. If you click on the Google Slides and open it, you will see multiple slides off to the left. There are 2 videos on the first slide. There's 1 video on the second slide, and then there's a 4th video on the 4th slide. So it is a bit lengthier than the other remediation assignments that you have done. A bit lengthier, which is why I'm giving you multiple class periods to get this particular thing done. So what I'm going to tell you right now is this. You have a solid half an hour right now. You have a solid half an hour right now. I would suggest trying to knock out a bulk of this information. At least half of it today would be ideal. Make sure that you are showing what you need to show. Make sure, watch the videos. They're probably about 4 or 5 minutes each, give or take. But some of them are definitely worth it to watch to kind of help you remind yourself of this information that we've been taught in the past. A lot of the stuff is going back to like chapter 6, which was many months ago. I want to say that was probably in like January, February, or something like that. So for those of you online, same deal. Obviously, you have the assignment assigned to you in Google Classroom. I'm going to keep the live stream open. And if you do have any questions, of course, I will be monitoring the chat periodically. But of course, if you do have any ultimate questions, you can ask me or email me or whatever you got to do. Yes. You can do it directly in the slide if you want to. If it's easier to do it on paper and then take a picture, do that. Yeah. Do whatever is easiest. And that would be fantastic. So, yay. You do have the remainder to get this thing done. Like I said, let us get to work. That's not us. There he is. They told me that you were cutting. Your friends in this class. No, not exactly. It's the quote-unquote intervention period. Well, let me explain what's going on. You'll need to know this information for the next couple of class periods. First, we started the class period by going over a quizzes review because we are headed towards a major assessment for the chapter. I'm not assigning that major assessment just yet. I'm probably going to assign it early next week, though. It's going to be on Edulastic. That's number one. Number two. So after the quizzes, we reviewed some of the questions from that quizzes, just kind of seeing, okay, these are the ones that we struggled with the most. Let's start with those. And then afterwards, I talked about the assignment. So the intervention period, this time around, there is a Google slide, which you guys I assigned you today, so you'll see it when you get on there.
Google slide.
You'll see. It's an assignment, Google Classroom assignment that is in the form of a Google Slides. Yeah, it's weird. Once you get on there, you'll click it, you'll open it, you'll see it. But basically, this one's a bit lengthier than the other intervention period assignments. So I wanted to work on it during this intervention period, and I wanted to work on it during the next intervention period as well, which is Tuesday. It won't be due until Wednesday morning, though. Yeah.
But I'm chilling.
Why?
Am I chilling
Well, you can open the thing up and get started on it.
What is the trade?
You have roughly 14 more minutes.
14 minutes.
Yeah. What you could do in those 14 minutes is you could open up that Google slide and just watch the videos that are attached in there.
But then we're gonna forget the videos by the time I get home. Because I might get home till like 9.
It's possible that you could forget those videos until then.
Videos.
You could also see what this thing is about.
Waste another 14 minutes of my life.
Waste another. Okay, so you could either waste 14 minutes of your life in just sitting there, or you could waste 14 minutes of your life with mathematics.
Well, I'm not just gonna be sitting here. I'm gonna be vibing.
Vibing.
Exactly. Hot here.
Oh yeah. If you say so.
Yes, I know.
Minors can be tried as adults in the court of law.
So, Marky, what do you think I should do this summer? You think I should? I worked in a bakery last year, and it was all right, but it was a lot of hours and everything. Pay isn't crazy, but like I didn't really have any free time. I rarely went to the beach, rarely hung out with friends. That was kind of frustrating. But so do I work in the bakery again, or do I try and lifeguard, test it out, see how it is?
You get a job that is early enough in the morning.
Well, both of them are early.
Well, how early?
So, lifeguarding is, I believe, you should be there. Like, you should be there probably like 8:30, but like starts like 9, something like that. And then the bakery is, for me, it's 8:30. I have to be there.
No, when I say early, I was thinking like 6 or 5.
Yeah, no, I'm not a morning guy.
During the summers, I would work a shift from 5 a.m. to about 11, multiple days a week, and then I'd be able to come home for lunch, and then I'd be able to go out and do things with my family.
5 to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you can't do anything at night because then you'll be exhausted the next day.
I'm used to waking up that early.
Yeah, but like, yeah, true. But I'm trying to figure out, do I lifeguard and try it out, because I've only worked, you know what Bay Village is?
typically with lifeguarding, don't you have to have like some kind of in with the swim team or something?
Well, yeah. I'm on the swim team.
Oh, there you go then.
But I haven't hit it with the lifeguards like some of my friends do it. Well, my friends just asked me if I wanted a lifeguard. So I'm guessing maybe.
Well, it's up to you.
Well, no, I know, but I'm asking for your personal input. What would you do? You work in a bakery.
Lifeguarding can be kind of boring. You're constantly having to be vigilant, or you're constantly having to walk around and check people's beach badges and have people avoid you.
Beach badges is they have their own beach badge checkers.
Oh, they don't double as lifeguards?
No,
Interesting.
that's a separate job.
Well,
That's
that's-
usually like 14-year-olds and stuff.
Well, lifeguarding,
And it's cheaper on gas because it's closer to the.
I don't know. What do you do in the bakery?
I literally do like one thing, and that is make elephant ears. It's just me rolling out pieces of dough.
You don't do anything else? You don't make anything else?
Not just make elephant ears.
Just make other stuff.
Did you also work there like really that much?
This was today, and then Jab's tomorrow.
You didn't really work that much. You didn't have to work every day of the week. So then don't worry about it on the job. You can still.
What are you throwing in disc today?
I don't know. I'm doing this.
No, what are you throwing? You gotta get it in your mind.
No, that's how I usually mess up. Get in my mind, and it's like you need to do this, and then
I can tell you what you're throwing a disc.
90.
Throwing a disc.
I'm throwing a disc. I'm 1.61 kilograms. All right, this is loaded.
No, where are
I
you?
promise you, you'll be so much happier as a lifeguard. You'll be on the beach. You'll be able to see people, and you'll get tan.
Yeah, this is not counter argument.
I'm 10.
I'll give you a
It's
counter
like it's
argument.
on top. But
Work the same job that you just worked, just work much hours.
yeah,
Well, I'm
you
only
feel
gonna, I
like-
told my boss that I can only work like 4 days a week there.
yeah, I
But like,
think-
that's the week.
That's what I'm saying. You're a lifeguard. You already did the basics. You know, but if
Yeah.
above it,
Yeah,
good story.
yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't drive or not pay for gas, you would, right?
Once mom stops driving,
Once mom
kids
starts
start
driving,
making big demands.
Yep.
Then he doesn't want to drive this far. Exactly, it's smart. I don't want to drive this far.
Actually, just be a lifeguard. You'll be much happier. I promise.
No, listen,
It's for both of them. It's for both. They both work that hard. You're not gonna be outside of there all the time. Or if anything, you do it. If you really want to use it, yeah. Maybe 3 days as a lifeguard, 1 day as a lifeguard. Well, why?
Those of you in the live stream, I am going to sign off now. You have about 3 minutes until the end of the class period.